What's cracking with you people? Anansi here, and welcome back to Jade Empire. In the last one, we completed Lord Lao's Furnace and got every single configuration, every single reward we could get, and restored the memory of King the Mad to that of Lord Lao. In this one, we're gonna do Mechanic Hidden Goo's Dragonfly missions, because in all honesty, I've actually never done all these missions before. Not even kidding, I've never actually done all these missions, so let's see what he gives us.
So, would you like to hear about the mission I have for you? Or did you want to have a look at the flyer parts again?
I want to do the next mission.
Excellent, I am most pleased. The prefect of Shangdang County will be glad to hear he has an escort. His ships have taken a heavy toll lately. There are many raiders between here and the prefect's home, and his ship is intended more for luxury and less for war. Get the prefect home safely, and I will reward you well. The prefect has also told me to offer you extra silver for destroying as many of the raiders as you can. The prefect is anxious to be going. Here's your wind map, and remember, protect the prefect's flyer at all costs.
So we have an escort mission. What's this? A devastating attack that drains health from your enemies and transfers it to you. The cheek. Well, we'll try Conceal Spirit. I never actually used it before. And let's start. So yeah, in the last one we learned that King the Mad was Lord Lao. To be honest with you, in retrospect, even as a kid, I probably should have seen that coming, because King himself makes such wild and crazy, to be honest with you, King the Mad, for all intents and purposes, he is known to create some of the biggest marvels of the Jade Empire. Like, that's like his claim to fame. And the Dragonfly is the most unique thing he's ever made. So it does make sense, if you think about it in retrospect, that Kang himself is Lord Lao. But I have to admit, I was not expecting I think Gradius? I want to say Gradius is the reference that they were making with that game. At least I think it was. I don't 100% remember. And his was like a Dragonfly 2. How odd. But I was not expecting that boss at the end. It's an interesting take on it, because for the most part you just fight, basic ships and whatnot. So getting to the end of it was a treat, to say the least. Sagacious suit. You might notice the 2 dots on his forehead. I don't think that actually shows up in his model, but yeah, which I think might be a reference to the old Lotus Order, because he doesn't have the marks. I think it's a kanji or some kind of Chinese character. One of the two. I don't remember which. For all I know, BioWare could have done a research and it'd be the actual Chinese character. Kanji is Chinese character for Japanese language. But that, I don't know what it stands for, but it's on there. I'll look it up between parts just so we know what it says on their foreheads. But yeah, that might be a reference to the Lotus Order when they had just 2 dots and not like the, I guess, the flesh engraving on the front. There we go. So yeah, that was that mission. Not too hard, all things considered.
Excellent work. The prefect is happy to be home, safe, no doubt. I see you were able to dispatch a few of the raiders on your way. I'll top up your payment a little for that. Would you like to see some of my upgrades? Or could I interest you in doing another mission for me?
Let's see his upgrades first. Reverse tie. So we got a couple here. This will cause all of your enemies to slow down time for. This will cause all of your enemies to slow down time for a brief period. The cheat cost to reverse ties is moderate. 8,009. Okay, so yeah, that's how much he had. We want to save up for these. I'll try to show these off later if at all possible. If not, I'll show them off in a bonus episode. But for the most part, I don't think you really need to get these because I honestly never use them. So yeah, I'll try to show them off. They have the mini game section in the main menu, and I believe the mini game section is based off your latest save. So I'll try to buy these, and then if I can't show them off during the gameplay, I'll try to show them off in the mini game. Anyway, let's see what his next mission is. Let's do this mission.
I have received word that my associate is alive, if not well. He was shot down by Imperial flyers while retrieving some sensitive information. Fly to the destination on the wind map and destroy anyone who attacks you. Drop off these parts so my associate can repair his ship and return. The area you will be flying into is private land, and by right only the Emperor's servants are allowed entrance. But there is a truth there that must be uncovered. Be careful. These Imperial flyers are extremely dangerous. Good luck.
Okay, we'll do Consume Spirit, because that is a pretty helpful skill to have if you really need it. Honestly, wait, that's right. We got this for doing Lord Lao's mission, so we couldn't have used it during that mission. Oh boy. So yeah, and I think Consume Spirit is probably going to be the only one you need in terms of, what's this called? In terms of skills. And honestly, and here's the thing, I could probably afford to get all of the upgrades if I went out of my way to, well, sell essentially a lot of my equipment. Which, in all honesty, yeah, if I did that, I probably would be able to afford a lot of them. But once again, I'm not certain about actually like selling them. I might sell some of my gems later. Oh, we got the spirits now. Chi. So yeah, I might sell some of them, like some ones that I know like I'm not gonna use, and really just no need to keep holding this and not that unique. But we'll see.
More dodging, less catching.
Hey, I'm the pilot here, man. Trust my instincts. If this was Star Wars, I probably would use I'd probably use that rolling trick to handle this. Well, they really threw the kitchen sink at you. But yeah, his missions are starting to get a little bit more involved. I think the first one was just delivering a package. The second one was escorting, I guess, a noble back home. And the third one is rescuing his friend from the land that only servants of the Emperor are allowed into. Not to admit, it's kind of sketchy when you get down to it. But hey, I'm just a guy who sits up here, flies a fancy ship that no one ever there's only one of a kind, even though it doesn't look much like a dragonfly. The one that we escort looks like a dragonfly, but still, that's all we're doing. Not bad, nice experience.
You've done it. Chang, my associate, is on his way back. Here, I owe you this and more. I regret I have no more missions for you, but I'm always here if you require upgrades for your flyer. Thank you again.
Okay, let's see his upgrades.
Yeah.
And then we get Firestorm. This weapon does a large amount of damage over time. The chi cost Firestorm is high, and Dragon's Wrath. You know, now that I'm actually looking at some of these, thinking on it, given how tough that boss was, you probably could have used some of these to help make that fight easier. Like, I could see, if Firestorm does what I think it does, you could use that in tandem with Reverse Tides to make Lord Lao's furnace much easier. Food for thought. Food for thought. Anyway, I guess we'll head back to the Lotus Assassin Fortress. I expected that to go a little bit longer. I honestly thought he'd have a few more missions for us, but guess not. Guess not. So I guess it's only 3. I just wonder what it was that he had his friend Chang in the lands. I wonder what he was doing. Because I don't think you ever find out. I think you're just left up to your imagination. But, you know, that's just me. That's just me. Yeah, going off on that, I do appreciate the Dragonfly sections, and I do miss when games had this kind of diverse gameplay, because going back, at least in terms of I would say the last decade, the last couple of games that I have played, that came out on the last gen consoles, there wasn't a lot in terms of like extra mini games that were either unique or homages. A lot of times it feels like they were just throwing them in because it was something popular at the time. Like, a lot of games were... How do I put this? So Fallout 4, right? That game came out a few years ago. I want to say going on 5-6 years ago. It hasn't been 10 years. I know. I was in college when it came out. I want to say I was in my second to last year of college when it came out. So yeah, about 5 years ago. I would say about 5 years ago. Yeah, about 5 years ago it came out. And there's a mini game in it where you are essentially playing Minecraft. It's just Minecraft, you know. And I gotta reset this fort. Since we're going back to this fortress, let's go ahead and bring in.
Good. I did not join you to sit idly by.
Let's bring in soapbox again. But yeah, it's just Minecraft. You don't get like a lot of like references stuff. I think like the only game that came out within the last 10 years that bothered doing something like that was, at least off the top of my head, and this is off the top of my head, if I was looking at my game collection, I could more easily tell you. But off the top of my head, it's pretty much only Bayonetta, or I guess better a better way to explain it is Platinum Games. A lot of Platinum Games IPs do a lot of minigame stuff in it. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. You know, Bayonetta 1 had, I think it wasn't Gradius, it was something, it was another game that I think only got released in like Japan. And then the second game was more or less a Star Fox reference, which is why you had the ability to use a Star Fox skin. Yes, you do gotta wait for the steps going off for Ginter. We're more or less looking for if you had a Star Fox skin, it was to turn the ship into an R-wing. Not a lot of games did this, and I do understand why a lot of games don't do it, because depending on how it's implemented, it can disrupt the flow of a game. Like going back to Knights of the Old Republic, BioWare's previous project, in terms of before they did this one. When you flew around in your ship, you would occasionally have this mini game segment where you would just be on a stationary turret shooting down ships in space. And while it was interesting, it was boring. You know, I appreciate the reference to Episode 4, but at that point you had games like TIE Fighter, Starfighter, and I want to say Jedi Starfighter had come out at that point, so you needed to step your game up in terms of what you are offering to the player. And And I don't think, and I can see why they don't do it very often. Let's try to put this here. I don't even think Mass Effect had a really a mini game segment. You had the Mako segments. And it's to show up on the map. Yes, this door does not go anywhere. You had the Mako segments in Mass Effect 1. I think Mass Effect 2, if you got a DLC, they gave you something different. But it was mostly just a vehicle section. It wasn't really anything too drastically different. It was still, for all intents and purposes, a shooter. We go from a martial arts game to basically shooting.
How can I assist you?
Okay, so let me see what treasure they can provide. Right, I sold this. Darkness. Let's go ahead and get the Eye of Inner Darkness. And let's get Deadened Nerves. So what were these techniques again? Eye of Inner Darkness. Looking out from the void inside, the place in which the spirit resides, is a person's inner eye. A person at peace with their inner self gains great power and strength of mind from this eye. So basically opening your third eye kind of thing. Think Tien Shinhan from Dragon Ball Z. Deadened Nerves. Lotus assassins often use a technique common to many martial arts, but in their fanaticism they take it to an extreme. They beat their body continuously, first with ropes, then with wooden sticks, then finally with iron rods, until their bodies are completely deadened to the pain. They can resist all manner of physical attacks, but focusing so intently on the physical does little for their spirit. That is depressing.
I have.
So not much else. See, could I sell? If there's anything I can sell here, I can actually sell this Heaven's Blessing gem. I want to see how much the stuff is in here first, and then we can try to sell it to the Ginbu to see what the price is. I believe Ginbu does not buy from you at a favorable rate.
You know, I think I actually like this job better than my last.
Yes, see, the Heaven's Blessing gem, he will buy it from you for half. Not worth it.
I have learned a number of.
So let's sell Heaven's Blessing, the Monk Gem, and I want to say we'll sell the Inferior Monk Gem, and I think for right now that should let us get the last two skills. Okay, so this is Window to the Abyss. The spirit is endless. The depths one can sink to is limitless. If one looks inside, they will see nothing but themselves. The strength of the spirit comes from this limitless inner void. Fearsome Visage. This is where intimidation builds. Training as a Lotus Assassin takes its toll. A Lotus Assassin sometimes deliberately deforms himself to present a more disturbing visage to his opponents and instill fear in his foes. Now, luckily in gameplay this doesn't reflect, but it is something you can do. So, I guess we'll start. One of our side missions.
How can I assist you?
Who am I supposed to train?
You're in a hurry to make enemies, aren't you? Very well. Master Shin has a new attendant in his entourage who's supposed to be trained. Attendant Keaton. She is replacing one of the acolytes who did not return from Tien's Landing. There was no explanation. I assume he was weak and was discarded. You can find her and all of the other attendants by the doors to the inner chambers. They wait there for when Shin leaves to inspect new slave shipments.
Alright. Goodbye.
Goodbye. If you wish to begin your likely short career as trainer, Attendant Keaton waits with her fellows at the doors to the inner chambers. I'll say this. If you are going to try and fight them, hold nothing back. They will be trying to kill you.
Alright then. So yeah, if you remember, we have to find a way to sabotage Inquisitor Shin, and to do that we need to find, well, ways around his, we have to find ways around his guard. Make sure he's vulnerable and make it look like an accident. You have a lot of different attendants here, so let's go with Attendant Keaton for right now. Watch around.
So, you are the new trainer. You think you have something to show us? Master Shin has us test each of Gong's trainers to make sure they're skilled.
But not too skilled. Am I your next student? I assure you, I am more than capable of defending myself. I was made an attendant because of my skills.
Yeah, sure. So, we can do this in a way where it's like, we are fully giving ourselves to it, or we can lie. I will make certain nothing goes wrong during our bout. Because they will try to kill you, and these are those assassins. Who cares?
Oh, don't worry about me. Worry about yourself. Let's move this fight to the Hall of Induction so I have room to enjoy this.
And here we go. And yeah, so his attendants are not that smart. And then we have to go back down here every single time. This is the one annoying bit about this. You have to run up and down these stairs every single time. They don't just teleport you back. So yeah. And no one finds this suspicious at all.
You are either brave or foolish. I warned you that appearing too strong would make you a target of Shin's attendants. Actually killing one will incite them further. I would be very careful if you intend on continuing to train the others. They will not let the death of Keaton go unanswered.
3 more to go and Shin is helpless if called to fight.
What? That is your plan? I wish you luck, but I'm staying well out of the way. This is going to get really ugly.
Who am I supposed to train?
Your next student has been chosen for you. I did warn you that appearing too strong would put you in danger. Well, beware this next attendant. Attendant Kai Feng is waiting for you with his remaining fellows at the doors to the inner chambers. I wish you luck.
Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye. Your next and likely final training partner is waiting by the inner chamber doors. Attendant Kai Feng. Do not hold back. Good luck.
Alright then, here we go. Kai Feng, it's time for you to die.
You killed Keaton. The life of an acolyte is forfeit when they walk into this place, yes. But for one of Gong's ragged minions to do this is unforgivable.
Do you think you can make such an insult and disguise it as a simple training mishap? You are a fool.
If you are ready, trainer, your next student is waiting. It is my task to make examples of Gong's acolytes who show too much promise.
I am ready. Come, Kai Feng, let us see how skilled you are.
My skills are above question. Gong is about to lose another of his pitiful acolytes. Come, let's move to the hall, and I will end this.
And here we go. Ooh. Now, open up the poison. Now, he is really poisoning me. Okay, let's show off our new skill, shall we? Ice Shard.
Ice Shard.
And as you can see, it's pretty much just an ice move. If you fire a missile off at him, as soon as it moves, it does freeze him, but you gotta be on your game. And then if you do this move right here, the super move, it brings down a hail of ice on him, and it just hits him in the head because why not? His favorite. And off with his head.
You killed Kai Feng? But he was fully trained.
Such insolence will not go unpunished. We'll make an example of you soon enough. Your corpse will be dragged before your master.
But Kai Feng was a full assassin. How could he have fallen?
Shut up. This fool will pay. You'll see. You'll regret this.
And with that, we found out exactly who the assassin was. It was Kai Feng. It is odd that they would send the assassin as the second individual. I mean, that's a bit weird, don't you think? Like, we kill one, okay, send the second guy. Yeah, level up here. So let's up our spirit a little bit, actually. Do a little bit on there. So we have 18 points. I think let's get this 1,000 cuts, right? Everything else should be, yeah, pretty much maxed out. So we're gonna do. Yeah, we're gonna do 1,000 cuts. Get down up a little bit. Get that up right there. Yeah, there we go. And then we're gonna do a little bit on a white demon, just so we have a little bit of variance, because like I said, I don't use a lot of my magic. I mostly use it just to heal. I did when I very first played the game. I used to use magic equally, but once you really figure out how the game works, you can kind of bounce back and forth between what you want to use and what you don't need to use.
Lotus Acolyte of Gong, we must make an example of you. You have insulted the attendants of Master Shin's entourage.
The masters do not care whether acolytes live or die, so it is up to us to avenge the deaths of our fellows.
We will not appear weak. We are the attendants of Master Shin. You will die as penance for your insult.
So you can call for assistance in this, but let's go ahead and just Shopa again. Shopa for a little bit. You forced my hand. Come, attendants, I will fight you all.
Your death will be an example to all of Gong's fools.
And as you can tell, this is not a fair fight. I literally just like two-shot a couple of them just because I can. That appears to be it.
That was an impressive display, Acolyte. I've never seen Shin's attendants so handily dismissed. Master Shin's enemies are probably very impressed with your actions. I can only speculate, of course.
I do not like how he hides behind us, a coward in commander's robes.
And that, as they is that. Guang.
I marvel at your ability. You show no fear of the enemies you make. You will do well here. You have no more acolytes to train for now. Is there anything else you need?
Now let's, Oh, why didn't you let me fight Shin's attendants? I didn't ask for it, so it's not really a problem. What training services can you provide?
I have learned.
So yeah, nothing much here. So we're pretty much good as it is right now. So, I guess we'll call it a part here. I've been Anansi, you've been awesome, and I'll catch you later.